because you see your friends going up the ladder.
Yeah.
And it's not about like, oh, it's not about envy, it's about excitement. Because if they're going, you're sure to come. You want a new ass? You can go get one. You can put it on loan. You can make payments right now if you want to get a BBL tomorrow. You want a bigger dick? You can make payments on that. You can make 8 payments and have a bigger cock for $25.99 a month and $500 down if you want.
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
It's a terrible podcast. This is Mammal. You don't look impressed by anything.
What do you mean? Is there a look
You
for
look very
impress?
uncomfortable.
I'm working with what I have.
Mammal, I actually don't know a lot about your life, except that you are from the Pacific Northwest.
Correct, which is the same place that Bruce Lee was raised.
Yes.
Which is Seattle, Washington. So
Oh.
I am from that place.
I visited his grave.
Oh, very nice.
Did you grow up close to there?
His grave? My uncle and my aunt went to the same high school as Bruce Lee. Which
What?
is,
No way.
Yes, which is called Garfield High School. It's
Okay.
on 23rd and Cherry, if it's the original building.
They're friends?
They went to the same school.
Wow.
Yes.
Um,
Seattle was a very small place before it became a very big place, right? So growing up in Seattle pre-Costco, have you heard of Costco?
Yeah.
You know, this place where people go with
Yeah.
a membership and they buy big, gigantic bundles of toilet paper.
I don't know about that.
These are items that are sold at Costco.
Yeah.
Right? They're bulk items.
Kirkland.
particularly. That's right. Kirkland is a city in Washington State.
What?
Kirkland is a very rich city. Kirkland is like Beverly Hills, so to speak.
Wait, Costco is from Seattle?
Correct.
I didn't know that.
Now you know. You're learning.
My mom loves Costco.
Of course she does. Most moms do. Does your mom also wear a vest when she goes to Costco?
Yes. Why did they do that?
It just happens to be what most Korean women do when they go to Costco. Does your mother have a minivan?
She likes minivans. She doesn't have one.
Does she drive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up with the vest?
It's a thing that makes people comfortable and it's a look.
Okay.
It's almost like a look that I would say Oprah show guest encouraged and wore. Was your mother an Oprah watcher? Did she watch her at 3 o'clock? Did she watch Dr. Phil?
I don't think so.
Oh. Is your mother here?
She's in America.
Oh.
She's married to a white man.
Oh, then she probably did watch Dr. Phil. She might have even watched Sally,
What's that?
Jesse Raphael.
It's
What,
like-
what state is your mother in?
She used to be in Jersey. She's in an RV now with her husband.
In Jersey?
They're just in an RV, just like traveling around.
Oh, they're moving
Yeah.
about. But what part of Jersey?
Denville.
Oh.
It's like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I lived in New York for some time, and
I didn't know that.
I had friends in Hazlitt. I used to swim at the Red
Oh
Bank
shit. Nice.
YMCA.
Why were you there?
What do you mean? Why was I there?
Did
I
you
just
move
told
to
you.
the East Coast?
I feel like you need a Q-tip.
Oh what?
Q-tip.
Like
You know,
for my ears?
Yes, to hear.
Why'd you move so?
I mean, why did I move? It's my body.
No. But you're on the West Coast. We were just talking about that. You suddenly moved to the East Coast.
I was born in Seattle,
Yeah.
so that's where we were at.
Ah.
Yeah. I left Seattle at a very young age, probably around 18 or 19,
Okay.
and I moved to Berkeley.
California?
Correct.
What were you doing there?
Well, when you're young, you're living your life.
Yeah. You didn't like Seattle?
No.
Huh.
Seattle was very rainy. It's very dark growing
Yeah.
up, right? So growing up in Seattle in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, pre-internet, it was a very dark place in regards to the weather.
Yeah.
Beautiful state, lots of rain, delicious food, delicious fish, right? Great environments.
Yeah.
The rise of Amazon was a bookstore that was in like a warehouse,
yeah.
right? Jeff Bezos was fat, right?
Huh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, gotta, I mean, yeah, you know. Jeff Bezos was so fat that he probably couldn't walk down your sidewalks. Those sidewalks are for skinny people on your block. You know that.
Oh, really?
Have you seen your sidewalk outside?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for skinny people. No one fat could get through there. It's not even, it's
Yeah.
very LA. Like even a wheelchair couldn't get down there. Like there's no handicapped people on your block. There can't be.
Nobody's fat in LA, right?
Not in this block. Have you seen your sidewalks?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very thin.
I also heard that you're not supposed to fat shame people in LA.
Just in LA?
You know, when I'm not here, I fat shame people all the time.
You shouldn't fat shame at all, but it is a joke. But it is a known fact that living in LA, everyone is constantly working on their image. That is the truth.
Yeah.
And we all know that weight goes with image.
Yeah.
We all know that in America or in film, it's same time period, 80s, 90s, it was all about what you look like.
Yeah.
Right? It was all about looking thin. It wasn't until the last 5 years that people that were damn near morbidly obese are taking off their clothes.
Yeah.
Right? And showing their midriffs. Accepted, we all do, right? We love the bodies and we accept everyone. But there was a time where when I was super fat, I didn't even get in pools without my shirt.
Huh.
Right? And I was a big dude. I was probably, at my highest weight, I was probably like a 42, 44. Like I had titties.
42, 44?
Yeah, in the waist.
Okay.
So what waist are you?
34.
Right. So put 10 on that.
Okay.
Right? That's what I used to look like. As
Man.
a teenager, I was huge.
How'd you lose it?
Exercise.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
No Ozempic.
Well, you didn't have Ozempic back then.
That's my point. No Ozempic. That's my point. Yeah.
Huh. Do you know
Good
anybody
old fashioned juicing.
Oh shit.
I used to travel with Jack LaLanne. Do you remember the Jack LaLanne juicers?
What's that?
Jack LaLanne was, for me, it was like one of the first juicers ever seen. It was this older white man, 97, probably looks like your mother's husband. And he used to wear this jumpsuit, and he had this amazing juicer.
Oh wow.
And it was called the Jack LaLanne juicer.
Huh.
And so when I worked for this painter and traveled around the world,
Oh shit.
and I was losing weight, I would pack up the Jack LaLanne juicer and I would travel with Jack. He was like my boyfriend at the time. I would put him in the overhead. So I'd put the blades.
Oh wow.
I would put the blades in the suitcase, and then I'd take the machine and I would put it in the overhead.
And you juiced every day?
I juiced whatever country. So I used to juice in Jamaica. I used to juice in China.
Oh.
I took the juicer to Africa. I took
Wow.
the juicer to Senegal, Jamaica, Dominican Republic. I think I even brought it to China. Like Jack used to go everywhere with me because I was determined. Because when I would go to these countries, third world countries, whenever you go to a market, there was always fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
And they were cheap because I'd be in China, so you'd get apples and carrots and grapes and all the things from the market, and then you just bring them back and juice them.
Where in China were you?
Beijing specifically.
Nice.
Yeah.
It sounds like
I've traveled.
yeah. Were you in the arts?
I worked for an artist.
Or well, it was a painter?
He was a painter, yes.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's
my
cool.
previous life. So yes, at that time I went to comedy school in New York in 2013. And when I finished that, I did about 3 or 4 clubs, like back to back.
I'm sorry, which one was the comedy school?
It was called ABC
Oh.
Comedy School. And the guy that taught it, I forgot his name, but he'd been in comedy for like 20 years.
Yeah.
And the school was on 38th and 6th Avenue. If
Okay.
you know New York, there's this building on the corner.
We were both there at the same time.
Did you live in New York?
In 2013.
Oh, really? Where'd you live?
I lived in a cheap part of town, like Queens.
What does that mean, a cheap part of town?
Like
Nothing
Flushing
cheap in
and
New York. If you were there,
Astoria.
you were there. You were in Astoria?
Yeah.
There's great food in Astoria.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like it? What'd you do? Where were you working there? What'd you do?
I was just working in an office, like in tech.
Oh, you work in tech?
I used to, yeah.
Oh, okay. Nice. Where'd you work? Where was your office?
Like near Penn Station.
42nd?
Yeah.
Okay.
And 8th.
Oh, okay. There was a time that one of the artists I worked for had a studio on 36th between 5th and 6th. But also, yeah, you were in the heart of town. I lived in Brooklyn.
Nice.
Clinton Hill.
Nice.
And then that was my last apartment, and then before that I lived in Bushwick.
When did you move? Did you
COVID.
New York to LA?
Yes.
Whoa, you were in New York for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, you're the same with me.
Yeah, I was in New York for a very long time.
Oh,
well,
wow.
10 years, 11 years maybe.
Holy crap.
Yeah. How long were you there?
I think pretty similar. But I was in Colorado before moving to LA, but it sounds like you moved straight to LA.
You went from New York to Colorado during COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I had to, but.
Okay. Well, yeah, we all have to do. I mean, it was COVID, right? Like no one knew.
Did you ever talk to Ian Russo and Tim about? I didn't know you were the past New
Yeah,
York, New Yorker
know.
crowd.
Yeah, Tim knows. Yeah, we talk about it all the time.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, Tim is from. He's from East Spanish Harlem. Like I want to say like 116. Don't quote me on that.
Huh.
But yes. So yeah, we weren't there at the same time, but yeah,
Right.
I know exactly where Tim was.
How was your time in New York?
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit.
Yeah.
And now we're here.
Do you remember when Black Lives Matter was going on in Brooklyn? Because all the riots were going on.
I wasn't there for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I left in COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like right in the midst of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good decision.
Yeah. Yeah, I lived in between the parks.
Yeah.
So I lived in between Fort Greene Park and Prospect Park.
Nice.
And I was a cyclist. I cycled a lot every day.
Those are nice parks. Prospect Park is awesome.
Yeah, it's great. It's the same architect that did Central Park. So
Right.
that's why when you go into the park, the city disappears, right? Like it's one of my favorite parks. So yeah.
Yeah. Do you like LA?
What do you mean? Yeah, I love LA.
You moved to LA for comedy?
I moved to LA from COVID.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Was it an intentional choice?
Yeah, COVID.
Yeah.
COVID.
You didn't have to move to LA.
Well, sure, but where else was I gonna go? I lived in LA before. And so I had friends at the time that
Gotcha.
called me and were like, you need to get back here. And I lived in LA before for 10 years. So I was very familiar with LA. I had friends here.
Nice.
And one of my friends who became very successful from her skincare line suggested, she was like, you really should come back here. And I really thought about it, and I was like, and there was this idea that, no one knew what was going to happen, right? So we thought, well, you'll just come to LA, you'll move into our compound, and we'll hunker down until things change. And so at that time, you needed to quarantine. So I quarantined in Silver Lake for about 15 days in an Airbnb. This really great Airbnb off of Marathon. It's a street in Silver Lake Hills, which I love because it was in alignment with Nipsey Hussle, if you know who Nipsey is. You write that on your notepad. You can look him up. Nipsey Hussle.
I'm sorry.
The Marathon.
Who was this person?
He's a rapper that's deceased.
Oh, man.
And you should know who he is.
Okay.
Yeah, you should really do a little research and get into his work and advocacy. And particularly when you speak about Black Lives Matter. Yeah, that's a good start.
Oh.
It's a great studio that overlooked this park on Marathon Avenue.
Well, you were there?
During quarantine.
Huh.
I was there for like 2.5 weeks. And so I never saw my friends. I saw her workers, I saw her assistant, because they would bring me water. They would bring me...
Oh, God.
Because it was COVID.
Yeah.
And so in short, I began to look for places. I just thought, oh, well,
Yeah.
I'm due to move into her place at the end of these 15 days, but let me just kind of look and see what places look like and the prices and,
Yeah.
And so I did that. And the day that I was going to move into their place with no date of how long I'd be there, I found this studio in the media district. And so it was perfect because when he picked me up, I had these keys to the studio, I had a suitcase went to the studio, dropped it off, and then hung out with them for a while. And then they basically furnished my place.
Nice.
And yeah, and that was how I got to LA. And so in that time, I began to discover the neighborhood, just like New York, walking around. And I walked down Melrose. I was very close to, I was 2 blocks off of Melrose and a block off of Highland. And so I walked down Melrose one day and I saw the Hollywood Comedy.
Oh.
And the door was open. And I went in and there was a comic by the name of Peyton who was hosting.
Oh, I love Peyton.
Love Peyton. It was Tuesday and Peyton was hosting and she was serving mimosas. And I think I either had $3 or $4 cash and a flip phone. Because at the time I'd stopped using devices, I'd stopped with the iPhone. I had deactivated my Instagram. I'd been off of social media for probably maybe a year, I feel like.
For health reasons?
For my own personal reasons. It's COVID. So you need to, I'm adapting with the times, right? I'm working with what I'm given with, which is time. So I'm spending time with myself.
Yeah.
And the more time I did that, I don't need Instagram, right? And so here I am at this improv, and they're like, oh, you have to sign up on Slide. I'm like, what is that? I'm like, can you do it from a laptop? And they're like, I think you can. Like, no one really knows. So in short, I gave her my money. She offered me a mimosa. I didn't take it, but I did stay for the improv.
Nice.
And pulled from the hat, and I went up, and it was great. And I said, how do you do this? And she said, well, just go to Slotted, Hollywood.com, HollywoodComedy.com. And so that's what I did.
Was
and
this
eventually...
2021? 2022?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And in that time, I rebooted Instagram,
Nice.
the Mammal effect, and I rebooted social media in a way that I could access comedy, right? And yeah, and that's really how it went down. And that's where I met Timothy Paul McRae. That's where I met Jonathan Galliano. That's where I met Peyton, Bernice Yee, Eden Barra, Dan King, Jia Ying Summers, who owns the place.
Nice. Are you tight with
I met a lot of comics that came out of the Hollywood Comedy.
Right.
So yeah, it was great.
Do you like everybody at Hollywood Comedy? Like, I think Peyton left.
I don't know where she went. I haven't seen her in a while.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do you like
I go there for the mics. I don't get into politics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the improv mics, regular mics, all of them.
Just the mics in general. I love them because they now even have a breakfast mic essentially. I mean, there's a mic I think at 10:45 a.m. or something like that. Like I love them for that. I love that they have an afternoon mic. There's not many clubs that have afternoon mics.
Yeah, that's true. I also think you're good friends with Lynn's son.
Yeah, Lynn is a friend of mine. Yes, I was on her podcast.
Nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How did you get to know each other?
Social media.
Oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
Doing comedy? Just.
No, I reached out to Lynn for a show that I was producing because I liked her comedy, and that's how we became quick friends.
Oh, you have never met before?
No, I liked her comedy.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, you speak to people that you want to work with.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, actually, I've never done that before without meeting.
That's what you did for this podcast?
Yeah, but I had already met you before.
Okay.
I guess it doesn't really matter.
I do what I want to do. And I see things and I see people that are great and I make it a point to tell them they're great. And that's how we met.
That's cool.
And that was through Instagram. That's the great benefit of Instagram or social media working to your benefit or your favor. Because Lynn and I became friends. I consider her to be a friend. I consider her to be a comedy mentor, right? She doesn't bite her tongue.
Yeah.
And she does a very good job of, she also has a podcast, which I was on. But she does a very good job of sharing her experiences in the world, in the field of comedy, and just her overall support with comics.
Nice.
She was the first woman, immigrant, if you will, to give me an opportunity at the Ice House, and I was very well received.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so that was wonderful. So yeah,
Oh wow.
but that's how I met her. Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, it's great.
She just gave you a spot in the lineup.
Well, no, she was on my show,
Yeah.
and then I was on her show.
Oh. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Huh. I guess maybe I should do that more. Like I've never DM'd people that I don't know before, but you're giving me good ideas, man.
Yeah. Well, you're not gonna closed mouth doesn't get fed, and a bitch will starve.
After, could you repeat that?
Closed mouths
Yeah.
don't get fed,
Right. You too.
and a bitch will starve.
Right.
Meaning you have to speak up for yourself,
Yeah.
or speak up for what you want.
Yeah. Reach out first.
Whatever it is, whatever you want. It doesn't just apply in comedy or getting a show, but it's whatever you're wanting or
Yeah.
whoever you think is great. You should doesn't necessarily mean because you don't have a relationship with them.
Yeah.
But if you like their work, I really enjoy Lynn's
Yeah.
work. Like I'd been following her for a while,
Yeah.
and so that's what I did.
Yeah.
And I've done it like, but I also I don't know. You come from tech. I come from being a hardcore entrepreneur of 20 plus years.
Yeah.
Right. So in order for me to transition into a comic, I stopped being an entrepreneur in the sense of, going to get clients or doing event management or managing people per se, right? Even stopping a podcast. I stopped all of that to become a comic. In order to become a comic, I had to give up a lot of things and people in order to become this other thing. And so in that, I still use the tools as an entrepreneur, but I apply them to comedy because comedy is basically
Right.
your own business.
Right.
So this is your business that you are doing right here. This is your grassroots business. You're creating a podcast. You're having people in your home. You're serving them tea that I didn't see you make, so I'm not going to drink it because I have a phobia of like just drinking kind of things that I didn't see you made. And so it's a nice gesture,
Yeah.
right? But you're doing it, right? So this is all your business. You're taking
guess.
notes. You're building your business, right? And there's a lot of moving parts to a business,
Yeah.
right? So this is one of the things you're doing. You're like, oh, I'm going to do a podcast. Don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't have a structure to it. Don't even have a name to it.
No, that's a structure.
But I'm going to have people in my home. I'm going to have them take their shoes off.
Yeah.
I'm going to point to where the restaurant will be. I'm going to even tell them what apartment number that I'm in. That's what I'm going to do. And in fact, I'm not even going to give them my number to text. They'll just have to figure it out when they get on the block. And so I say that.
I don't like giving people my phone number.
That's totally fine. And guess what I did? I did what I do and I called you the way
Yeah.
that I knew how. And I got you.
Yeah.
Right? And then you're like, oh, there's a gate. Okay, what do I do when I get to the gate? Don't know what door to go to. There was no apartment number, right? On that narrow, I can't be fat sidewalk. Thank God I didn't fucking eat before I got here. Okay?
You look fine, man. You look great.
Because I didn't fucking eat because I knew I was going to be on a skinny sidewalk. I Google mapped. It's like there's no fucking sidewalk. So I say that to say that you're building a business, right? So, and it's great. So
Yeah.
do you have a website?
I have my own website, but I don't promote.
That's okay. What's your website?
It's just my name,
What's your name?
Terry Boo.
Okay, so is it terryboo.com? Is
Yeah.
it the Terry Boo?
No.
Is it Boo on Terry Boo? Is it just is it terryboo.com?
Yeah, just Terry.
Okay, so that's what you should be promoting. That should be your hashtag. That should be on your thing. It should have your podcast.
Yeah. I don't like making a lot of noise though, man.
Well, then you're never gonna make it.
That's very real.
Hiding is not gonna make you out. Hiding is not gonna bring you out. It's just
That's
not.
the truth.
Yeah, I don't tell lies. I tell jokes, right? And jokes allow you to, blemish, if you will, right? But it's the truth. You're not gonna get anything being quiet. I've dealt with them all. Seriously, okay? So when I say that, you have to be loud. You have to be louder. and you can't, walk. You got to walk around with your chest out, like you're slouching now. Your posture as a host, you need to be sitting up. You're a host. You should be up.
Yeah.
You're slouching.
Yeah.
Koreans don't slouch.
Well, in my defense, I feel like comics, not all of them, but many of them like are introverted, and we just have like a very like sensitive nature.
Sure, but you're shifting, and you can have a sensitive nature all you want, but this isn't a stage. This is you're interviewing.
Yeah.
So you need to you have to.
Right. That's true. I need to do the part.
Shift gears.
Yeah.
It's not even a. And by the way, you can do what you want.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just telling you my perspective.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it's fine.
Right. Which is a business perspective.
Yeah.
Right. So I do things based on business.
Yeah.
I follow greats.
Yeah.
Right. I've worked for great people.
Yeah.
Not in comedy.
Yeah.
But in art.
Yeah.
So I'm coming off of the shadow of that.
Yeah.
Right. Who they are as people.
Yeah.
Is completely different than the product that they create.
Ah,
Right?
I see.
Just like comics, right?
Yeah.
We're telling all comics aren't necessarily nice. All comics aren't necessarily kind and loving, if
Yeah.
you will, right? Some of them don't stay after for autographs.
Yeah.
Some of them take a limo or go through the back door. Some go out front and greet all their guests and take pictures.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying
Yeah.
to you? So the same thing with the people that I shadow. They were great performers.
Ah, I see.
Right? They weren't comics, but I saw them do lectures.
Yeah.
I saw them speak in front of hundreds of people. I would sit at tables with diplomats
Yeah.
and people of heads of states, presidents of countries. And so there was a performance that went on. So
Yeah.
in that, I took away some of those things. And so how I represent myself is an impression, right? You said, oh, you look nice. That's my impression.
Yeah.
It's the same thing when I go on stage.
Yeah.
It's a different look, but
Yeah.
I used to wear suits, and
Yeah.
that to me was like over the top. I
Yeah.
was like, okay, this is a lot of noise, right? Because there's an expectation
Yeah.
that comes with that.
You for stand up?
Yeah, when I first started doing stand up in
Yeah.
the very beginning, I used to wear suits and capes, and
Okay.
I used to come in hard.
Yeah.
And then this go around in comedy, you just want to get it out.
Yeah.
Like that clothes and looking fancy and shit, none of that matters.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I telling people for
Yeah.
20 minutes? What am I telling people for 5 minutes?
Yeah.
I got it before and it was a quick 5-minute set, and I'd be done and then I'd go back to what I was doing.
Yeah.
But now I'm full time in comedy, and
Yeah.
so being full time is a different perspective to me.
Yeah.
I think people that wear suits are great in suits. Donnell Rollins is a great comic who's on Netflix. He now wears suits, like that's his thing, and he looks great wearing suits. D.L. Hughley wears suits. They look great wearing suits. I used to wear suits every day, right? In my entrepreneur business, working with artists. Sometimes I'd go through, at a certain point, I remember one day I wore 4 suits in a day based on the events, right? So being a comic, I just want to do comedy. Fuck those clothes. Fuck that haircut. I just want to be truthful. I want to be honest. I want to talk my shit. I want to talk about how I used to be fat. I want to talk about how I used to be a full-time faggot. I want to just get it out. And so in that, I could care less about clothes, right? It's a different shift. I work a job that allows me to just go to work and get a check so that I can focus on comedy. I can focus on the writing. Because that really is the most important part.
Yeah.
Stuff doesn't matter to me. I mean, I can't speak for other people, but I used to have all the things, and things don't make up comedy. Like having a fancy car ahead of your time doesn't make up comedy. Having shoes, having stuff, that doesn't, just do the fucking comedy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
All the other shit doesn't matter. Just
Yeah.
get to the work, right? And that's spending time with yourself. That doesn't mean you going to a bar and meeting up for drinks. You can have drinks or whatever.
Yeah.
But for me, I had to stop all of that so I could really. I was social.
Yeah.
I'm still social. But again, COVID and just being focused and determined,
Yeah.
not obsessed, but focused and driven on comedy, that takes a completely different toll and lifestyle than just being out in the world.
But I feel like the suit and the fashion sense, it's unique. So I feel like if the
Sure, absolutely. I encourage it.
Yeah.
Do as you will.
Yeah.
I'm telling you for myself.
Yeah.
Right?
You don't do it anymore. Yeah.
I don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
and I did it well. Yeah, but for me, I like the strip down. I like the easiness. I like just putting on the jeans or however I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Right. I really do believe in like.
That's true.
How I'm feeling. Right. If I feel like putting on a blazer, I will.
Yeah.
Right. But it's a feeling. I'm done with the like brand. Like, my brand is like wearing a suit every because that was my thing as an entrepreneur, as an event manager, and personal managing people. That's what you do. You put on suits, and it's New York City. I'm a black man. You put on a suit to go to work.
Also in New York, it's a very
come on. That's like it's money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're going into a room with money. You're on the train with people, and again, the art world and the people, my clients, that's what we do. Like I was traveling on planes. Like going to China was for work purposes. So I was showing up to work. Going to Africa was work purposes. There would be fun, right? But the end result, I was working for a man, for an artist, right? So in that also came with a wardrobe. And so you were expected to show up for work. And a lot of that was 3-piece suits, furs, if you will, trench coats. You know, I still wear clothes, but I really, New York City, you're dressing up, going to Art Basel, you're putting on clothes. Japan, Tokyo, you're putting on clothes.
It sounds like a cool job.
Yeah, it was everything. It was great until it wasn't. Like all things, right? Like you discover yourself in things. But I took the risk. And that's what I say to you. You have to take the risk of being bigger. Because I was with people that were big, and I was like, and I just step up to the occasion, right? I'm like, oh, they're like certain environments call for certain things. Yeah. And so I learned that.
Kind of roll up to their level, kind of.
That's right. Yeah. Well, if you're rolling with the best, then that's the goal. That's the motto. So it's the same thing with comics. I follow great people. I like great comics. Lin Sun has a special on Amazon. Like, I was like, wow, you're amazing. Like, and I learned from those people. I now am learning from Tim. Tim is like thriving, right? Yeah. And again, there's a dedication and a commitment that I've seen Tim do that I have not done, and that now I am doing. Does that make sense? And so you see that in your friends. That's the great thing about having comedy community, because you see your friends going up the ladder. Yeah. And it's not about like, it's not about envy, it's about excitement. Because if they're going, you're sure to come. Like the same people that I met in this club, Cat Bird is another one. We all met, and the Cat is like killing it. Yeah. You know, like Reed Brockenberry, the same, all the people, not all the people, let me be clear on that. But a lot of them I
you
met
all
from there.
Go way back. Yeah.
I don't know about way back, but I met them 3 years ago or 2.5 years ago. Yeah. Is it? I mean, parents say
this was before
24 months.
But this was before the Best Comedy Club Theater came out, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So I guess you're kind of right, because Jonathan I met there. Like we used to smoke cigarettes out front, or when he stopped smoking, like right towards the end. But we met from there. So you're right, because to see all of that, Jacob I met from there. So actually, I feel like I might have met Jacob at the Comedy Nick, which is even more an oxymoron, because he's one of the founding partners of the Best Comedy Mic Near Me. Right. So it's just 360 how it all comes around.
That's awesome.
And then it's important to stay with it, right? Because in all things great is development. Yeah. No one just wakes up and
everybody's working hard.
Right? There is a development that one has to have, and you want to be able to last. Yeah. Right? And so that is why there's steps in different stages. Yeah. But just because that stage is on Sunset and not on Melrose, there is a difference, but you still are humble about that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Did you all meet at the Hollywood Comedy, or
who?
Like Tim, Kat, you?
I just told you that. I really think you need a Q-tip.
Oh. Yeah. Well, you didn't specify the venue.
Yes, I did. I said the Hollywood Comedy. I did.
Okay.
You rewind the tape.
I will rewind the tape.
Do you use Q-tips? I'm just curious. Do you?
I do it.
You do? Okay. You shouldn't do it too often because it bruises the eardrum. Oh. Yeah. A honey pot if you're really troubled. I think you might even need to go into a honey pot. Cherry boo.
You guys just met at a mic?
I'm sorry?
You guys did a show together or like a mic?
We were working on our material.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. We were going for, just like we do.
Basically
open
like
mics.
Def Noodles, yeah.
Open mics, yeah.
Yeah.
Where did I meet you?
Def Noodles.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Good things come from those places.
Yeah.
They do.
Were you part of the group that initially started hanging out at Def Noodles?
I don't do groups.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I don't do politics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
I believe in sticking to the script of the business of comedy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying to you? I don't do drama. I don't do groups.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't, all that stuff that happened, the best part is that I met these people.
Yeah, that's true.
And I move forward. Like, I don't want them on my show.
No, I
I
agree.
don't want to hear them on my show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying to you? Well, my episode.
Yeah.
It's important to move on.
Yeah.
Right? So, yes, now we go on, and now I'm in a new collective that you've seen, Accidental Comics. I've
Yeah.
been in there. And so now Ron Bush has
Yeah.
become a really great friend. I guess I've known Ron now for like a year.
Nice.
Because I met Ron at AMP.
Oh, AMP Studio?
Yes, that's where I met Ron Bush and Susan Ware
Nice.
and Scott,
Scott?
a couple of Scotts.
Okay.
Yes. And also Michael.
Michael Rayleigh?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Amanda Perry, I met there. Karen Hayburn, I met there.
Yep. Karen's awesome.
Yeah.
Mammal, I noticed when you're doing stand-up, you riff a lot, you lean into your instincts a lot.
You said I riff a lot. What was the other
Yeah.
part?
Like you lean into your instinct on stage a lot.
Yes. I believe in that.
Do you have any favorite comics that you kind of draw that from, or are you inspired by anyone?
No, I think you also are learning. I'm also learning myself, right? So I've heard this a few different times from comics, so that's also nice to know.
It's very good. I love watching
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And again, I'm learning like that's my gift, right? Because learning about comedy, you also learn the different techniques that you are gifted with. And that they have names and definitions and all the things, right? So riffing is something I didn't know that I was doing until I learned about when you really study and stay in it. And two, a part of riffing for me at an open mic is to then go back and listen to it and pull what worked and then throw it into the bigger pot of things.
Nice.
Or the longer format of minutes, if you will. So that's why I enjoy it. And I really, as much as you go to mics to work on your set, I like the ability to riff and use the comics if there's enough in the room, right? And so sometimes at the Hollywood Comedy, you can play off people in the audience.
Yep.
And then sometimes there might be two people in the audience or two comics, right? And those are also great moments because you're allowed to use that time and really work through your material or what you're working on, which is something that Marlena, who you interviewed, I've done at her mics. Because a lot of times, back in time, she did a noon mic, and there would be like, it started off with like being sold out to 3 people to 2 people, and you go there and there might just be like you and her and one other person. And so she would let you have a couple of extra minutes, and you find yourself in this monologue, and so you get feedback or laughs or some snaps or so it's just good because it is an exercise. Like that's how you get good at things, just holding it and being up there.
Yeah.
It's an exercise. That's why even when times I'm like, oh, I'm feeling away, I still like to show up at a mic because I just get to riff or I get to talk or hold
That's
it,
true. Yeah.
and that is important.
I agree. I think even in those situations when you're leaning into that,
Yeah.
I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
This might be kind of a weird question, but do you get along with other black comedians? in the scene.
That's very racial. That's very racial.
But does it matter that whether they're black or not black?
No, I get along with.
Well, you mentioned Marlena earlier, that's right.
Well, she's on your show.
She was. No, I thought you were mentioning her because she's black.
She was on your show.
You're right, you're right.
And she's a great host. She still hosts there.
Right.
It's not
that, yeah. No, it's not that you only have black friends or whatever. It's like,
Reed said this on his show. I heard him say how you did that. Do all Canadian people know Canadian people? No, they don't.
No, that's racist humor. But sometimes, do you? Sorry, this is not supposed to be racist.
I'm listening. I'm
but
waiting.
are you friends with Scarlett Sadiqua?
I don't know who that is.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were friends.
I don't. This is about What I don't know what that. Yeah. Yeah. I don't do politics. I don't get into
fine.
other people. Like I don't.
Gotcha.
Yeah. This is about me.
Happy Pride Month.
To you as well.
I'm straight though.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you thought I was gay?
I don't know what you are.
Why'd you say that then?
I don't know. I mean, Pride is a profit, and so in that people are having a good time.
Yeah.
Like many holidays, I don't celebrate.
Oh.
There was a time when Pride was 2 days, a weekend. A parade at the end. People would fly and they would go places.
Oh yeah.
Now Pride, every neighborhood or city gets a Pride.
Yeah.
And it's overwhelming.
Oh. You don't
And
like
it's
it?
become about profit. It's about money.
Oh, got it.
Like all things America does.
Like Valentine's
We don't need a Silver Lake Pride. We don't need a Hollywood Pride.
I guess so.
There's a Long Beach Pride. There's a Compton Pride. There's a Koreatown Pride. Did you know this? Yeah, Koreatown has their own Pride now.
Oh my God.
As much as the LGBTQ LMNOP community is about community and love, it's also very segregated. And that is why I constantly tell the jokes that I tell. It's segregated. On Monday night, you get lesbian night. On Tuesday night, you get taco night. On Wednesday night, you get black night, right? It's still a constant division within. It's just whatever. I think people should do as they please, but I'm also like, I'm not delusional. Look around.
Yeah.
Right? So some of that is false.
Yeah.
In some people, right? You see predators being dragged out of gyms, right? In women's locker rooms, dressed as women.
Oh, God.
Right? Saying they're it's a real thing.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, but this is America. And gender is just like every other thing. You want a new ass? You can go get one. You can put it on loan. You can make payments right now if you want to get a BBL tomorrow. You want a bigger dick? You can make payments on that. You can make 8 payments and have a bigger cock for $25.99 a month and $500 down if you want.
I'm okay.
I'm okay. Yeah. I used to be a full-time gay, right?
Yeah.
You can easily switch lanes if you choose to. My preference now is to open, now that I've learned my past and fully understand, I don't think that I was never bisexual. I just didn't entertain it. My environment in which I was raised was invaded with verbal abuse and a little bit of physical abuse. And so with all of that, one makes different moves. And I didn't know this. I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna, and by the way, in the 90s, it was really 2 things. You were either, that I knew of, right? In my young mind, because there was no internet. So what I saw out in school, in high school, was either you were gay or lesbian, right? You would hear about being bi and I was like, that seems confusing. Like, how do you like 2 people? Because I didn't know what that was. Sexuality wasn't taught to me. My mother didn't have those conversations about sex. I was an only child, and my mother was a single parent until she married a little later. But in that, I really raised myself in a household with someone that, paid the bills and did all the things. But my grandmother had a huge influence on me.
Mm.
And my mother, it was a very challenging childhood.
Mm.
And so in that, you know, it changes you as you get older when you invest in therapy, when you are willing to put your shit out and smell it and say, ooh, this shit stinks, right? And really understand, like, oh, wow, this is really what happened to me when I was younger. Oh, wow, this is really what happened. And like most comics, we are, you know, troubled souls or, you know, interrupted souls,
Yeah.
if you will, right? We have taken a different path. Not everyone is some like happy-go-lucky comic, right? And that's what makes comedy great, are the stories that we're willing to share with people, right? That's really what it's about, is you willing to say, like, this is what I went through, right? I didn't grow up poor. I didn't grow up in a gang. I was trapped in luxury, if you will,
Oh,
right?
wow.
In the sense of we looked great, but we were also miserable. Like my mother was verbally abusive, right? Not every day. It wasn't every day, but it was for periods of time, and over time, that wears a child down.
Yeah.
And so in that works your nervous system. And so what you become isn't necessarily because of your choice. Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
As a child, you are being raised by adults, and those adults are to take care of you.
Yeah.
Someone 10 years old shouldn't be taking care of an adult.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And a lot of times, children are in situations with parents that are not even full adults. My mother was 16 when
wow.
she had me. So a lot of times, some people's parents aren't even adults.
They're not even adults, yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying to you? And so based on your situation, that can determine how you are developed.
That's true.
Right? And so it is important if there is a two-person household. Is it impossible for someone to be a great kid or have a great outcome with one parent? Absolutely not. But we do know that it is great to have a two-parent household.
Yeah.
It's so important to have a man in the household with a young son or a young girl. It is important, right? And so there's no fault in anything. You don't blame your parent on the situation.
Yeah.
In fact, you have more empathy and gratitude as you get older, because you're like, holy shit, you could have made a different choice. You were 16. Those are times when hangers were in, right?
Yeah.
So you forgive, you just don't forget, right? And in forgiveness, there's a shift and a change and a shedding. And you become the next version of who you're supposed to be, if you allow that.
Are you attracted? Do you think that influenced your attraction to men? Or?
I think I've always had an attraction for men and women.
I see.
Right.
Got it.
I think that was always my thing. I had many girlfriends in high school. I used to,
Got it.
you know, I fucked women. I made love. Okay. It's not like I'm just like some I used to fuck women. You know what I mean? Like we weren't making love, but you know, I enjoyed having sex with women.
Yeah.
You know, it's important because, you know, I don't call women bitches. Like I'm not that person. Like I respect women. I think women are beautiful. And so in that, you know, women deserve everything.
Yeah.
In a way in which a man should give her. Just like a man deserves everything from a woman that a woman should give him. And that should be peace from a woman, and a man should make a woman feel safe and loved. The financial shit, sure. But ultimately, when a man comes home from work and comes home to his wife, right, if you want to go the full status, they really should be coming home to peace.
Yeah.
Right? And the same thing goes for her, right? Being in a relationship is when people are in relationships that are healthy, you see their lives flourishing. You see that.
Yeah.
Because that's what love does. Love is powerful, and love makes you grow. It doesn't stunt your growth. It grows you as a person and as a couple. So when you see people that are married and they may not be happy, and it's all the time, that may not be their partner. That may not be their person. Sometimes you see people that are wealthy as all get out, right? And they're miserable, right? That may not be their person any longer, whatever that may be. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But in the end, in short, love is something that makes you grow. It doesn't stunt your growth. And so that's why you want to make sure that you fall in love with the person and not what they look like, right?
Very true.
Because love is important. And that is why I say, oh, well, I can be pansexual. I'm open to dating anyone.
Somebody who helps you grow.
That's right. And it's about love. And I feel like a loving woman, a loving person. And for me, I'm just really in the business of love in a way that I'm not seeking, right? Like I want to attract it, but I'm not hunting.
Right.
I'm not putting myself in, clubs, if you will, and particularly gay clubs. Like, and they're there to have a good time, right? But it's very hard to find love in a club. It's very hard to find love online, right? People are subscribed because they want it. And you should subscribe if that's what you're looking for. I don't want a one-night stand. I did all of that when I was a full-time homo, and it was exhausting.
On the apps?
Yeah, the apps, the clubs, the bars, knowing someone's name the next day, like all the things that you hear and read, the memes, did it well, did it in languages, did it in countries. I did it well, did it great. I did it very well. Ni hao ma.
Oh, very nice.
Bonjour, all of that. Bon dia, yes. Danka, all of it. Yes.
Mammal dropping pearls of wisdom tonight.
Yeah, this is gonna be a hard edit.
Actually, I don't really edit.
Yeah.
I just upload the whole thing.
Oh yeah, well you should edit this. This needs some edits. Yeah.
Wait, which part?
A lot. I don't know.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. But you should listen and just make sure that everything is this thing still going?
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah. How do you don't end it? You don't.
I do end it. We're gonna end it right now. So.
Make sure you edit that. Yeah. Go ahead.
So I guess final words from Mammal would be your hopes and dreams for the next 5 years, 2024 to 2029. Tim said he's gonna be a household name, and he will be somewhere in New York or something like that. But you don't have to be. It doesn't have to be anything like. It can be about love or anything like that.
Well, I'm glad you let me choose.
Oh wait. Anything that you want.
I love that you reference people, and it's great. That makes all the sense in the world. Yeah. Household names are great. Having a home is great.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely want a home. Ranch of sorts. Lots of acres, lots of trees.
Nice.
Yeah,
me too.
I think it's important. Great pool, great spa. Love. Some pets.
Nice.
I think animals are important.
Dogs, cats?
A combination.
Nice.
I'm sure she'll be a cat person, a dog person.
But it's a she.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. Yeah. Did you hear anything I said? Did you hear the last bits about?
Oh, yeah. Well, it was in the past tense. You used to be a full time.
Yeah. And did you hear me say that I'm seeking?
A woman?
Yeah.
I don't think you said that.
You didn't hear that?
I rewind it back.
Yeah. You should rewind that. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you for having me on the Terry Boo Show.
Yay!
What's the other name?
Oh, the hidden gems in LA.
Yeah,
You don't like it, right?
I love it. I love
There's
it.
Mammal, everyone.
Thank you.
Yay.
How long was that?
An hour.
Oh wow.
Usually, yeah.
You really have to edit